What is going on, basketball lovers and hoop heads? Welcome back to Checkup. I am your host, Bryce, as always, here to bring you the best basketball content in the goddamn world. If you don't agree with me, I don't blame you. I don't think I'm too good at this yet, but I'm trying. We're going to get there, and hopefully you stick along for the ride. Today, we are going to be talking about America's basketball team, the Phoenix Suns. Obviously, not really America's basketball team, but hey, they don't suck this year. If you would have told me preseason that this team was going to win more than 30 games, I would have laughed. I would have laughed hysterically, but here we are. The Phoenix Suns are 13-9 currently, and guess what? They have a good defense. That's maybe the most shocking thing about this season so far is that we have swung from a horrible, awful, terrible defensive team to a top 10 team by defensive rating this season, which is incredible given that the personnel didn't change that wildly between this year and last year. I mean, sure, we lost Kevin Durant, but he's not known as a defensive anchor. They replaced Yusuf Nurkic with Mark Williams, brought in Dylan Brooks to help up on the wing. Colin Gillespie is playing a ton of minutes for this team. So it's not like they went out and got like prime Rudy Gobert or something. So what happened? Well, if you watched the Suns last season, you know that this team could not possibly have given any less of a shit ever. The coaching was bad, the vibes were bad, the buy-in was lacking, communication, effort, nothing was there for this team. They just didn't care. They couldn't get the will to care. They didn't have a leader. No one cared on this basketball team, but this season they do. You'll see them out there. They're communicating well. They're trying their asses off, especially Colin Gillespie. We're going to talk about him a lot today. And hey, they forced turnovers. Top 2 team in opponent turnover percentage, which is really impressive, again, given that their personnel isn't necessarily full of studs. But like I said, they just try. They try a lot. They're playing very well connected. Now, I would be remiss if I did not mention that their strength of schedule has been pretty lax here early in the season. But hey, I'll always say you got to beat who's in front of you. So we're going to go ahead and dig into some tape here. We're going to do this from their game against the Lakers from earlier this week. I think they did a phenomenal job in shutting this team down, especially with all the high-level playmakers that they have. And then we're going to look at some older tape, a game from the Timberwolves that I think they had really phenomenal defense as well. So let's go ahead and dig into that stuff now and not waste any more time just staring into my eyes. Unless you want to. Just a little bit of effort, y'all. This ain't nothing too crazy. We got a high pick and roll here with Luka and DeAndre Ayton. You can see Austin Reeves is actually over here pointing like towards the corner, saying, hey, pass to the corner. You know, Dylan Brooks is sagging off Rui over here in the corner. But Luka decides, I'm going to weave around this pick and roll. And we know Mark Williams is way too far back to contest this. Devin Booker gets caught on this screen. But Colin Gillespie, look at him shooting over from Austin Reeves to help defend this shot. Forcing a miss, and I believe they got possession there at the end. So, hey, not bad. Colin Gillespie recognizing that Mark Williams isn't going to be able to contest that shot, steps up for him and forces a miss. Colin Gillespie has been such a magnificent addition to this Phoenix Suns team. You can see the denial, the first screen here. Colin Gillespie angles himself well, knows he's going to get beat on this screen, but the screen navigation is really nice here, ducks around. Still has time to contest, tagging him on the hip, forces the pass to the middle. DeAndre Ayton misses the floater. Colin Gillespie has been such a wonder for this season, contributing offensively and defensively. Really, really good basketball player. I think the Suns found a lot of success in this game because they didn't just give up the easy switch. Luka and Austin Reeves are guys that like to mismatch hunt. Obviously, Luka. Mismatch hunt bigs and then just take them all the way to town. But instead of doing that, the Suns forwards and guards just stayed on ball. They fought through these screens, fought around. I think Mark Williams does a nice job of containing drives this game. And then just the point of attack defenders recovering to force tough shots, force tough passes, pass outs, just all game long. Colin Gillespie does a great job of not fouling there, forcing a nice miss. I think that was really key to their success, is fighting through the screens and not just giving up the easy switch. This is an excellent defensive play from the Phoenix Suns here. And after this, we're going to switch over to the second quarter, which is where they really took control of this game. But first, we had the high screen and roll action with Jackson Hayes and Luka Doncic. Luka's defender gets caught off guard up here, so he's behind the play. We have this guy, LeBron's defender is sagging off of LeBron to help provide some help defense, and then we see the nice recovery after the pass to LeBron. Again, we get another contain on the drive here. LeBron sees Jake LaRavia floating out to the corner, so he's going to throw this pass over top. Colin Gillespie knows that he has to recover out here to the corner to make this switch because LaRavia's defender was caught up on the help. Makes a nice rotation, and then we have a great hard closeout here, which forces Gabe Vincent on the line. I love, I think, is this Iguodaro? I'm sorry, I'm kind of bad with the Suns guys. But we see Iguodaro staying home on Jackson Hayes saying, hey, Gabe Vincent, take the midi. Take the midi if that's what you want to do, but I'm not going to give up the easy dunk here or an easy layup. And the bet pays off. Gabe Vincent misses the midi. I love, again, that hard closeout, really running him off the line, force him to make a play. That's stuff you love to see. But let's go ahead and get to the second quarter. Again, that's where the game kind of changed. I think this is great defense here. It's just going to be a better bucket by Jake LaRavia. But we see this off-ball action starting with what looks like a pin down for LaRavia here. The Suns just switched this. So noticing it, and the Lakers run this a lot, right? They when teams like pre-switch or switch off ball, and the Lakers guy is going to have a guy like fronting him out on the three-point line, they'll just cut back door towards the rim because now they're on their hip. So this is a great pass from Luka, but I like Mark Williams coming over with the help defense, making that a really tough layup. Nice recognition from him there. Just a nice layup. Sometimes the offense is going to be better than the defense. It's just going to happen. Again, we have the Suns liked to do these hard closeouts against, all the Lakers non-1 guys, kind of force them off the three-point line, force them into like pull-up middies that they're not super comfortable with. I think it was a nice plan. It ended up working in their favor, obviously. Here we're going to see another instance of Colin Gillespie doing this kind of scram switch thing on a pick and roll with Luka, which, again, like did multiple times in this game. I think he does a phenomenal job. So, again, sees Dylan Brooks get caught up. He knows Luka's going to have some space. Does this like kind of scram switch thing and kind of baits Luka into taking the shot, pulls his hands away, puts his hands down so that there's not even a chance that a foul call is made, and Luka misses the shot. The Thunder did this to the Lakers a ton. They kind of just like baiting Luka into taking the shot and then pulling their hands back, not allowing him to just get to the line in the way that he wants to, typically. Another instance of things that I like, just again, playing the Lakers stars straight up in this game a ton. Just going vertical, keeping your hands out of the play. LeBron misses an easy bunny after he kind of, Jamari Bouye is sitting there bumping with him a little bit. I like that. Just play him straight up. Just don't let him get to the free throw line. You know how much these Lakers guys want to get to the free throw line. That's like their main goal half the time. So just don't let them do it. Just be physical. Keep your hands out of it. I love it. Another excellent example of help defense at the right time. Again, just don't let these guys be playmakers. That's what they want them to be. So letting LeBron get bound into the post, no sense in doubling from the perimeter. Turnaround, excellent block from Mark Williams, excellent timing. Just good stuff. Again, just having so much success with playing these guys straight up. Another nice little bit of defense here. Again, sometimes you're just going to get beat, and that's okay, but I like this. Jordan Goodwin playing the passing lanes, runs Luka off the line, does a nice, makes a nice rotation out here to Maxi Kleber, runs him off the line, and kind of, moving to his left. Kleber hits that tough little jumper there, but if Maxi Kleber is going to beat us based off of a bunch of mid-range jumpers, then I think you're going to be doing okay. Again, doubling is help defense is all about the timing, man. Playing Luka straight up. He's going to rotate to his left. Who's standing right the fuck there? It's Mark Williams. Gets a nice contest, and we get a missed bunny from Luka. He's got soft touch, so he hits those a lot, of course. But nice rotation. Nice rotation. I love it. Not too early, not too late. Perfect. Again, knowing personnel is really important. They're going to let Jake LaRavia drive here because, yeah, who cares? I think that spins right into the help defense. There's no little shovel pass here to Jackson Hayes. Just kind of falling here. Does get it to Jackson Hayes. Luka gets a contested jumper off, but it clanks. They need to go ahead and just call my man Colin Gillespie the off-ball switching king because, my goodness, he does it so many times in this game and does it so well. So we have a high pick and roll here with Luka Doncic and Jackson Hayes. Ryan Dunn, who is defending Luka, it gets caught on the screen, is now behind the play. So also Iguodala, who is defending Jackson Hayes, steps over here to switch onto Luka, but that leaves Jackson Hayes undefended. Colin Gillespie does an excellent job of realizing this, who is defending Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent coming up for this kind of like ghost screen action where he's going to slip out here to the perimeter, and Colin Gillespie tagging the roller here. So recognizing this pass, Colin Gillespie is going to shoot out here. Again, rub Gabe off the line. Also gets the front on Jackson Hayes here and gets a nice contest. And we get a missed floater. Colin Gillespie, my king, I love you so much. I think we've watched enough defensive clips, so we're going to go look at some turnovers from this game real quick. The Suns forced 21 of them, and again, that was the big reason that they won this game. We're going to look at some of those and then get back to the Timberwolves game. Probably just the fourth quarter of that game, the end of that game, the clutch time had some really nice defensive plays. Let's go ahead and jump into that stuff. The Suns specifically forced 9 turnovers on Luka in this game, which is a lot. And again, just excellent help defense here from Mark Williams. They're just giving him a crowd. He tries to swing this little pass over here to DeAndre Ayton, but bad pass. Turnover. Active hands mean everything. Just following the ball really well from Oso there. Forces another bad pass. And Luka, or I think that was Dalton Connect, ends up committing a foul on the turnover. You can obviously tell that the Suns watched their tape on this. They're looking for that skip pass. Jamari Bouye, active hands, does a great job of collecting that one. By playing the pick and roll straight up with Luka all game and not letting him get the easy switch onto your bigs, it forces Luka to drive downhill a lot more. And again, we saw the Suns have success earlier. They're having success now, just kind of crowding him up and not giving him these little reach around, little shovel dump off passes he likes to get, forcing another turnover. Just another plus when you're talking about not giving the easy switch on pick and roll. All right, this is going to be our last one here. Colin Gillespie misses the 3, unfortunately, but Luka trying to just get an easy bucket, get the easy outlet pass. But who other than Colin Gillespie is going to just jump straight into LeBron's chest and take that ball all away from him? Who other than my king? My king. All right, let's move on to the end of the Wolves game. All right, so we talked about knowing your opponent is obviously very important. Watching tape, knowing what players like to do, what players don't like, what they're good at, what they're bad at is important. Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle are 2 of the most doubled players in the league, and that's because the Wolves don't typically put out lineups that have a lot of playmakers in them outside of those 2. So if you show those 2 bodies, they're not normally passing to somebody who is able to make a really great decision outside of that. So here we have up top. Remember, in our pick and roll coverage in last game, we were just playing straight up. Mark Williams was way in drop on Luka. He's not giving the easy switch. He's not hedging, or he's not blitzing. We're not really doing that with Luka. But with Anthony Edwards, we're up a little bit. We're at the 3-point line. We're going to try to prevent the easy pass. We're showing him hands. We're showing him bodies. Colin Gillespie doing an excellent job of stepping up to tag Rudy Gobert here. Forces Ant to throw this pass over to Dante DiVincenzo, who jacks up a 3 and misses. Again, different pick and roll coverages. They're executing both of them well. I can't believe so many teams passed up on Jordan Goodwin. Look at him just being physical, being handsy, putting a hand on his hip, but not too much, not guiding him, just letting him know he's there, playing him straight up, forcing Ant to miss the little, mid-range jumper. I love that. Jordan Goodwin is a super feisty point of attack defender. I love his physicality and strength. Although the Timberwolves are going to get a transition bucket on this. Look at Colin Gillespie staying on his hip. Almost gets that ball away, but Ant recovers. Kind of lays that up nice there. Unfortunately, but Colin Gillespie, my man, almost got it. We very nearly have a perfect defensive possession here from the Suns. So, again, we're talking about teams like to blitz Anthony Edwards a lot. So we do exactly that here. Dillon Brooks coming up to blitz and force the ball out of his hands. Throwing the ball over to Dante DiVincenzo. Devin Booker shows his body there, but does a nice recovery over to Jaden McDaniels. Nice closeout. Force him off the line. We get the help defense from Mark Williams. But unfortunately, the help defense for Moise O'Neal is just a little lot too late to prevent this dunk from Rudy Gobert. But a lot of nice show and recovers there. The blitz almost worked, although not quite. Now the Worlds are the 3-2-1. Now the Suns aren't a world-beating defense by any means. I think by the end of the season they'll end up as kind of like a middle-of-the-pack defense, which is much better than we could have hoped for preseason, especially where they were last season. Here, I don't love this process. Nice recovery to get back down to Rudy Gobert from Mark Williams, but I think this blitz is kind of ill-timed. We don't prevent the pass, and there's no help near. Deep three from Dante DiVincenzo, but open. He can hit that. I maybe would have blitzed just a second later with the shot clock running down like it was. Instead, they give up a wide open three that gives the Timberwolves a 2-point lead at this point in the game. Nice little bit of work here in the clutch from the Suns. Nice job not fouling or jumping too hard on the Anthony Edwards fake. Running Jaden McDaniels off the line. We've got some excellent defense down here. Again, Mark Williams rotating over nicely to prevent a layup or easy pass to either of the bigs under the ball here. And then we've got Dante DiVincenzo flying out to the corner. This is going to be a movement three. That's a tough shot to hit. Not a bad closeout from Colin Gillespie. Missed putback from Rudy Gobert. And some tussling on the floor for the ball. Not a bad possession in the clutch. Not bad defense at all. Almost really great defense here again. We see the Suns blitz with Colin Gillespie onto Anthony Edwards. I think Jordan Goodwin does an excellent job here of preventing the pass out to Dante DiVincenzo, forcing the skip pass over the top to Jaden McDaniels. Mark Williams does a nice job of rotating baseline, so he can't just rip through and cut baseline here. You're going to force him into the middle of the court. Unfortunately, Jordan Goodwin jumps on the first shot attempt. Jaden McDaniels hits a nice mid-range jumper there. He's been really good this season. But almost perfect defense. Again, I really like it. The rotations were solid. We prevented the baseline drive, which would have been wide open. But Jaden McDaniels hits a tough jumper. That's okay. Sometimes that happens again. Now, this was, of course, the remarkable game in which the Timberwolves had a complete meltdown. They were in control of this game, up 6 with 50 seconds left, possession of the ball. The Suns forced 3 turnovers in this final minute and will go on to win this game improbably. We have a first great denial from Colin Gillespie there, gets the steal, keeps it in play, throws it to his teammate. Jordan Goodwin hits the 3. Love it, man. Now the Timberwolves have successfully inbounded the ball on this possession. They get it down the court, swinging the ball over to Julius Randle on the wing. He gets run off the wing, a little jab step, driving to 3 defenders for some reason, and Dillon Brooks gets the nice strip on ball here, running the fast break. I believe we get a layup. Oh man, you can just feel it's palpable. The meltdown is palpable. And another really unfortunate bad pass from Julius Randle here, forced by that help defense from Jordan Goodwin. Although Dillon Brooks, I think, fouls him and they get possession back. But, of course, again, Phoenix wins this game. Just completely improbable. 3 turnovers in the last minute. The Suns forced 19 turnovers in this game overall. Just an excellent job of staying physical, staying active, being really handsy. I think a lot of teams have learned some lessons from OKC this season. All right, last thing, real quick. Again, this is just another reason why, like, the Timberwolves guys are blitzed or doubled so often by other teams. They know they can just help off of Rudy Gobert here. There's obviously no word about him shooting a mid-range jumper, dribbling the ball down the court, and also just get his hands in there and take that ball away. I love that kind of stuff. Be physical. Be handsy, man. That's what we should be. This is the NBA. Get those hands in there. Get those mitts on the ball, brothers. And, boy, the Suns, do they ever. Well, I think that's just going to about do it for me here today. I don't know how long this video is going to turn out to be. Maybe I'll cut some stuff. Maybe I won't. I'm not sure. But I wanted to talk about the Suns. I really wanted to talk about Colin Gillespie. But I was like, hey, they played a really great game against the Lakers on Monday. It caused some stir on social media because of LeBron talking to their bench or whatever. But beat one of the best teams in the league on Monday. They've been great all season. The defense is a really big thing to me, although it's not been the most stellar and they haven't played the most stellar of opponents. It's still good to see them be active. Again, they force turnovers. They foul quite a bit, but that's okay. In order to force turnovers, you need to be physical. And OKC last season started teaching the league that, like, hey, the math will math out. If you can force enough turnovers, the fouls, nobody gives a shit. Nobody's going to care. So, glad to see the Suns taking on that kind of role, that accepting that reality here in the NBA, because it's super interesting. I think it's just a really fascinating way to play defense, and I'm glad to see the return of physical defense in the modern NBA. But if you enjoyed this one, why don't you go ahead and like? Why don't you go ahead and subscribe if you're new here? Follow along. I'll have more videos every single week, at least 2. And then share this with your friends if you'd like. I'm glad you found me. I hope you stick around. Let me know if there's any other kinds of videos you want to see. Let me know if there's some stuff you want me to talk about. But until then, I hope to catch you in the next one. Okay? Bye-bye.